Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Lawrence County Animal Hour. We're so excited that we have a special guest today, Chief Terry Beecham.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. And we also have Director of the Doggie House, Ginger Morgan. Ginger, how are you doing?
I am doing well.
And who do we have here?
This is Phoenix. She got her ride to the animal shelter via the police department. Phoenix and her puppy daddy, Nash. So Phoenix and Nash came in late January.
Okay.
And on February 22nd, she gave birth to puppies, which was pretty exciting because that was the first litter of puppies we had. And James, who works at the shelter, I was cleaning one day, and he was cleaning on another aisle, and he's screaming, Ginger, come here, come here. I'm thinking somebody's having a seizure. I think he fell. It's slick out there with all the water, and I'm running around the corner looking like a cartoon. And he goes, look. And she'd had a puppy. I'm like, what is that?
What is that?
What is that?
What? Fire and Rain. They were both little fuzzballs.
They were. One of them looked like Phoenix. And yes. Which one was that? Was that Fire or Rain? Okay. And then the other one looked like Puppy Daddy Nash.
Mm-hmm.
So Phoenix has been with us since then. It's kind of interesting because we try to keep the puppies out of the general population because, we want to keep them safe and disease free. So the only place we really had to put them was in the bathroom.
Yes.
So we would shut the door, so nothing, everything would be good. Well, she learned quickly how to open the bathroom door.
Phoenix.
And she would get out. So then we started locking the bathroom door, which made it interesting because when a person would go in to use the bathroom, it was locked. But if somebody needed to go in to use the bathroom, it was locked. So it made things interesting. But she figured out how to unlock the bathroom door.
Unlike the bathroom door, Phoenix, you're so talented.
She is really smart. She is.
It's incredible the way that she looks at you when you're talking. It's like she knows what you're saying. I mean, it's incredible, her vision and the way she looks. I told you, I thought she looks like an Australian cattle dog.
I don't know.
Or a Basenji.
I think she's a little big for a Basenji.
Okay.
Now, when you look on your iPhone and it guesses what you are, what the dog is, it has her down as a Dutch Shepherd.
Are you a Dutch Shepherd, Phoenix? She's absolutely beautiful and smart.
She is, and she's smart. She's housebroken. We learned quickly at the shelter that once she had the puppies, we would try to take her for a walk, and she just wanted to walk herself. Mm-hmm. And so early in the morning, we would just let her out, and there's that 1/4 mile track.
Yes.
Out there, kind of through the woods, and she would literally walk on the pavement, get off to take care of any business she needed to take care of, get back on the pavement, and walk all the way around. And she wouldn't take a shortcut.
Wonder how talented she is.
I know.
She would be a great addition to somebody's home.
I think you could teach her some tricks too. Now
she's so calm.
And how old she is, I'm not sure.
Okay.
She could be 3, she could be 10. Mm-hmm. Wherever she was before she got her freedom ride from there, she was tied up probably with some type of chain because she and Puppy Daddy Nash both have worn down their front teeth.
Oh, they have. Okay.
So her back teeth are good. But she has no front teeth.
Because of the chain.
Right. And she also has a thyroid problem. So she has to take medicine twice a day. The meds cost anywhere from, I think, $35 or $40 for a 2-month supply.
Okay.
So it's not an expensive.
Right.
It's not real expensive. And then I think she needs to be tested every 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
To make sure her thyroid levels are good.
Well, she is a delightful dog. I mean, she's just perfect. And yes, we're talking about you, don't you, Phoenix? Just wonderful. So if anybody has room, Phoenix is the girl for you.
She's quiet until she wants something. I guess that might be like most girls.
Yeah, and she tells you, right, Phoenix?
Yep, she lets me know when she needs to go outside.
That's great.
If somebody comes in our office, because she's kind of living in my office, and I'm not paying attention to her, she'll, have something to say about that, or sometimes she's in the crate because, well, she'll open the door, so she knows how to get out the front door too. So, she'll talk to me because she wants, she just wants attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all she wants. So anybody, and I think she would be really good for an older person.
I do too.
Although she's bigger than most older people are looking for.
But
she's quiet.
calm.
She's calm. Mm-hmm. She doesn't jump up on anybody.
She's attentive. You can tell. She's wonderful.
She just wants to lay at somebody's feet or,
yes,
by their Barcalounger or whatever those things are called.
And of course, Charlotte's working her magic, so there will be probably a little video about Phoenix that will be coming up on Facebook either today or tomorrow. So that's good news. And the reason it's good news, Phoenix, Ginger, do you want to talk again about Milo and then Lucky last week featured pet, yes,
and Milo was week before last,
right,
and so both of them have been adopted. So thank you to WLX for spotlighting them, letting us have the show to show them off. And
we're on a roll.
We are on a roll. So that's why I brought Phoenix.
That's great, Phoenix.
We're
just so glad to have you.
You want to go to a new home?
Terry Beecham.
Absolutely.
Terry is astounded at Phoenix. Like, I can't believe this dog. Yes.
Find her a home.
Yeah, we're going to find her a home. Absolutely.
But she looks like a young dog, don't she?
Well, she does, but it's a little, it looks, I don't know if it's her coloring or she has gray, but she had a litter of puppies. I don't know exactly how old they can be to still have puppies because all of my dogs are spayed and neutered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm great. I'm only 29.
That's right.
Well, there you go. Well, she might only be, 2 then? Are you just 2?
Are you 2? Well, anyway, will be the absolute perfect pet. She has to take a little bit of medication.
Yep.
But don't we all?
I was just going to say, most people I know are on some type of medication.
Most people do. So, Phoenix, you are not alone. So, if anyone is interested in Phoenix, Ginger, would you like to give your number?
244-0265.
Again?
244-0265.
That sounds great. We're so excited. And how does Phoenix, this is kind of a segue into today's program. How does Phoenix do with fireworks? Do we know?
Well, as we talked earlier, she does okay with the gunshots from the range.
Yeah, so she might be okay, but so many dogs do not do well.
No,
and
they don't.
As a matter of fact, July 4th is more dogs are lost on the 4th of July than any other day of the year, which is why we are bringing Chief Beecham on board to talk about fireworks in your pet, what you need to know, what everybody can do. So hopefully not that many pets can be lost this year. So it's all good. But before we start, and again, we want to thank our sponsors. Have you been watching Lawrence County Animal Hour every week? I know you have, yes. Well, we can thank our wonderful sponsors for making that happen. And it is Tiffany Cope with Cry Like Realtors, Story and Leigh, Lawrenceburg Eye Care, and last but not least, Hearing Services of Middle Tennessee. And we don't want to forget our partner WLX, who makes everything happen every week, and we're delighted to be here. So, Chief Beecham, can you mention what it's like on the 4th of July, or let's even talk about the weekend before, because I know the fireworks are going on in the city June the 28th, correct? Yes. So, what happens that normally does not happen? Calls that you get, do you receive a lot of animal calls during that time?
Not really.
Okay.
Of course, we've not had the fireworks display in years past that we're going to have this year.
Okay. What is going to happen this year?
The fireworks show will be bigger and better.
Okay.
I know Mr. McKinley, who puts on the fireworks display for the city, will have some 6-inch shells. That's the big boys that'll
Okay.
launch way on up in the atmosphere. The report on them is going to be a little bit louder,
Okay.
and you can probably actually see them. Just a wild guess, probably from the hospital.
Oh,
They'll
wow.
they'll go that high.
Okay.
I want to say 300 feet. Don't hold me to that, but they will. They carry a punch. There's some big stuff, and if it's like it is at my house,
Yeah.
and I've only got 6 dogs,
Yes.
4 outside and 2 inside.
Tell us about your house.
My house.
Are there any of them who are frightened of fireworks?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Last week, earlier on this week, when we had the thunderstorms roll through.
Yes.
I've got one that shakes fleas off of her. She's, I mean, she gets spastic.
Yes.
And it's just rolling thunder. She can't handle it.
Yes.
Dogs outside, not so much. They're kind of used to it. But she's got to sit in somebody's lap, and it's usually mine. So, but that's okay. And she's an adopted dog. She's a rescue dog. Actually, our two inside dogs are rescue dogs.
And in all honesty, some dogs it does not affect, but other dogs, and you can understand, they don't understand fireworks, and all of a sudden you're hearing booms. Even if you're inside, if you're outside, you're seeing everything light up. While we're all patriots, and it's a wonderful patriotic program, and so many people enjoy. It's a great community event. Not so much for a lot of our animals. So, Ginger, do you want to mention some of the things that that people can do?
Yes. So if your dog is afraid of the fireworks and the loud noises, thunderstorms, everything, you should probably talk to your vet about getting some type of calming medication. Also, you can get the CBD treats are also helpful for that. One thing, keep your dogs inside, or at least inside a fenced yard that's kind of hard to get out of.
Yes.
Put identification on them.
Yes.
Have a good photograph of them just in case, so that she's really liking that bone.
She's loving
Yeah,
it.
I don't think you can see her now, but she's really going to town on that bone. Which, thanks to Folka, it's a Benabone that you all.
That's a Benabone.
Yeah,
That's
that you all
great. Oh yeah,
donated.
she's loving her Benabone.
So, and keep, speaking of that, give your dog some type of activity, some bones to chew, something to keep them
Distracted.
Also, I'm a big fan of a music that's called Through a Dog's Ear, and it's a very calming type music.
Oh,
You can get
okay.
it on an MP3 player or CD. I'm old school. I've got a bunch still on CD, so I play them at the shelter. She loves it. When she's getting very talkative, I will put it on so that she'll calm down and be
so
quiet.
it's a calming.
So I can have a phone conversation.
That is great. You know,
But-
I had a dog who was very fearful. And one of the things that I learned is to act normal, because so many times people get so upset when their dog's upset, or you're trying to comfort them.
Right.
And as normal as you can possibly act, it kind of signals to your pet, hey, maybe I'm overreacting, I'm looking, and everybody else is not freaking out like I am. So it's helpful to be that way.
It is. And another thing, if a dog gets lost and you happen to find it, post a picture on all the Lost and Found Lawrenceburg websites. If you've lost your dog, look on those, but also tag the Doggie House on Facebook, or text the picture to me, 244-0265, and I will keep an eye out for those pets. Recently, someone was looking to bring their puppies to us, and he wound up, when I got back to him, he wound up giving them to somebody. They wanted 3 of them. Well, luckily he sent me pictures, because then I had somebody in Summertown say, hey, these 3 puppies were dumped on me, and it was the 3 puppies that this guy was trying to get us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nightmare, but so make sure you tag us in your Facebook post so we can see it, And then if you can, text it to me, 244-0265.
So, Chief Beecham, we had Director Chad Moore last week, because did you realize that they have received at 911 dispatch over 1,000 animal-related calls since January of this year?
Yes, because we responded probably to every one of them.
I know.
It seems like we do.
That is incredible. So we spent the whole hour talking about, and especially with the shelter that is over capacity, that we talked about how everybody, we all got here as a community, and it's going to take each and every one of us to kind of help in any way that we can. And so, especially with the shelter that is completely maxed out, if there's anything that the community can do when they find a stray or lost animal, especially during fireworks season, if you could contain it, calmly approach the dog, contain it if it's safe, check the tags, take a photo, Ginger, like you said, post on Facebook groups like Lawrence County Lost Pets, and we'll go ahead and put it on our Facebook page, a list of all the lost and found pages, and the Doggie House may want to share that too. We also discussed with Director Chad Moore when to call dispatch, what constitutes an emergency versus something that is not an emergency. And the reason we're asking for the community to help, because the Humane Society did a study, and I found this incredible, that most of the dogs that were turned into the shelter were less than a mile or within a mile of their own home. So many times these dogs belong to someone, and especially during the fireworks season has, run off. And so we will post instructions on the FOLCA Facebook page, and then you can share it so that we can all get, do our part to get these dogs back home. Ginger, is there anything else you want to add that?
Well, I would just ask Chief Beecham, did you have any other suggestions on what people could do besides calling 911 or dispatch?
It's kind of, and y'all really just hit on. I know I had an older dog once. She was blind in one eye and couldn't see out of the other one.
Yeah.
And she's deaf. And utilizing the resources that we have here, in matter of fact, your sister
Yes.
kind of turned me on to it and how to get. Of course, I do well to text somebody.
Yes.
I am a child of the 50s. I'm not a computer whiz, so I got a little help. Got a picture of the dog on the website, and with 2 hours located her 7
great.
blocks from the house.
That's great. 7 blocks from the house.
Yes. And she crossed over Springer Road.
Yes.
So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
Being,
And she
being
is
deaf
very busy
and blind. Yeah.
Very busy. But yes, 7 blocks, so not that far away, and how wonderful it is that she was returned home.
Right.
So if we could, everybody, look out and do exactly, take a picture, share it on Facebook. That would be so helpful, because chances are they may end up at the shelter and not necessarily find their way back home. I mean, even though you post it,
Right.
that doesn't always happen, does it, Ginger?
No, it doesn't. I'm going to go back through and make sure that we've gotten all the ones that have come in the last few days or last couple of weeks on our website, on the Facebook page, I mean.
And then I also want to mention microchipping. We're going to really start with a big focus on microchipping. Hopefully we're a few of us are kind of speaking with vets, and maybe with a rabies clinic, we could possibly, with our local vet partners, have a Microsoft chipping clinic at some point in time. That might be a possibility, but it's so important to get your dog chipped. We do have a reader also at the police station, and hope to have more as the years go on. But our first one, we're proud to say, is located at the police station. And then also, if you do not have time between now and this weekend to have your pet microchip, Tractor Supply is the place where they have the tags that you can make
Right.
your name and number. They can list your name, number, put it on a collar, so that way if your dog is lost, they can call you directly, whoever finds it, and get your pet back. So
And I would suggest with the ID tag like that, I would have the number and 2 phone numbers. Just in case your cell phone dies because you're looking for your dog and you're texting everybody, they have somebody else
so can you
to get in touch
can
with.
you have 2 phone numbers on the ID tag?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess
that's
it
great.
depends on the size of the tag,
Right.
but I have large dogs, so
Okay.
I could probably fit 15 on my
You can put
tags.
15, especially on 1 or 2 of
And you can
them.
always buy 2 tags.
That's right. That's right. You can buy 2 tags.
Right.
I think they're roughly around $10.
Yeah, I
The
don't
tag
know.
at Tractor Supply. So, relatively inexpensive and something that maybe all of us could do between now and especially June 28th.
Yeah.
So, do you know what time the fireworks are going to start? It's at 9 o'clock. Okay.
Where?
Bobby River Park.
At Lawrence County High School.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe around 6 o'clock, people need to start thinking about bringing their dog into the garage or into their home. If they're, outside, to find a safe place, that would be very helpful. And that would save a lot of energy.
So is it illegal for just an individual to set off fireworks
No, ma'am.
in the city?
From the time you see the fireworks stands open, and I think there's 4 along Locust.
Okay.
They can sell from the 20th of June until the 5th of July. So you're not just talking this coming weekend, because next weekend is the actual
Right,
4th of July
yeah.
weekend.
Right.
And then if you bought a stockpile, most of the fireworks will go up on the 4th. But there are those who like to kind of stretch it out and, in different places.
Right.
Of course, we have no control of what goes on out in the county because there is no ordinances. In the city, there is. Generally, we will ask people, if you need to shoot fireworks, number one, please clean up your mess. It's no fun to leave 500 packs of firecrackers laying in the middle of 3rd Street
All right.
or 1st Street, wherever you live. If you'll stop shooting firecrackers by 11 o'clock, because the noise ordinance specifies 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.,
Oh,
people got to sleep.
Yes.
So
Even earlier.
yes,
Many of us.
some of us go to bed when the chickens are to bed.
Yes,
and get up when the
absolutely. And they
chickens
get up. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
just be mindful of your neighbors. We kind of operate fireworks like the public hue and cry. Mm-hmm. If it's not bothering anybody, we're not going to bother you. You bother your neighbors, you're going to get the knock on the door, cease and desist. We try not to seize it, but if we have to go back the second time, you're going to lose your fireworks. And you're probably going to get to talk to Judge Boston and explain why at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're running wild in the neighborhood shooting fireworks. It's common sense.
we
So-
were. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Go ahead.
You're fine.
We were talking earlier that I'm from Memphis. I moved here from Memphis, and there is an ordinance that you're not supposed to shoot off fireworks in the city limits. And that was something I battled with my neighbors many times. So one time I called the police, and they're like, "Do you want us to come talk to you?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And I just sat out on my phone because I wanted all my neighbors to know who called, because I'm just that petty, I guess. And so they came, and then they came back and they talked to me, and the policeman said, he says, "Well, if we find him, it's only $40. It's only an ordinance." And at the time, I think I had 7 or 8 dogs. You know what else? Picking up the poop in Memphis was only an ordinance.
Oh, yeah.
And I could not have planned it better. But one of my dogs just did her business right there where all the leftover fireworks were. And I acted like I picked it up, but I didn't. I got the little bag in my hand, and I've been, because everybody in Memphis has those, porch camera things.
Yeah.
And I just smiled, acted like I picked it up, and just walked on. And the whole time I was like, hello.
Yes.
It's just
so
an
nice.
ordinance.
It's so nice to be, it's good policy to be nice to your neighbors and think
Yeah,
about
be
your
neighborly,
neighbors.
please.
Yes, be neighborly. Yes.
Oh, gosh, I think I was in that do unto others as they
Yeah, well,
Do it
yes.
before they do unto you.
Well,
Well,
yes, because
no,
it
I
is.
waited until after, but
That's good to know, what the ordinances are. Because a lot of them, I think when we were younger, I don't think that you could do that within the city limits. Now I'm talking a long time ago, back in the
It's kind of like rolling yards. I mean, that's against the law too.
yes, yes.
did it.
But I mean, we couldn't do it. I mean, people did it, but I remember. So did something happen that you know of that? Obviously, the ordinances changed.
Well, in high school, it didn't matter.
Okay.
And I can carry you back to 1974
Yes.
when I first started, and it was legal.
It was
You
legal.
could discharge
Okay.
firearms. Yes.
Okay.
Not firearms, fireworks, not firearms.
Maybe it was my mom telling me, so we wouldn't,
I know it's
to be
illegal.
neighborly. It's against the law. So, obviously I believed her. I don't know why I thought that growing up, but who knows? So that's good to know. And again, no one's against fireworks. We love fireworks. We love fireworks shows, but
Well, we are celebrating the birthday of our great country.
yes.
And we want everybody to have a good, safe 4th of July. I don't want people, because that's the busy time at the hospitals too, because
Yes.
people get stupid with fireworks and they will remove fingers, they will
Yeah.
remove hands. We've got some industrious young rednecks like myself that want to experiment and just see how much black powder they can pour out and ignite
Wow.
without blowing themselves up, and it happens.
Yes.
So, but kind of going back to your animals, it's like mine. I try to calm them, but the outside dogs aren't as bothered as bad by them as our inside dogs. So yeah, if you got something that you can give them,
Right.
like
Sleepy
your CBDs.
cheese.
Yeah.
sleepy cheese.
Ginger calls it sleepy cheese.
Well, even so, my dogs, I had several who were deathly afraid of thunderstorms and fireworks. The sleepy cheese didn't even work for that,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which is Benadryl and some cheese. So I'm not,
Yes.
I'm not,
Work for me.
And it is Benadryl, right?
right, it is.
Yes.
It's Benadryl.
Benadryl, and it kind of calms.
Yeah.
It could calm a
Yes.
dog. Yes. So, that's good to know if you have any around the house. But it's always good to be prepared before they, bolt out of somewhere, especially if they're in the backyard. I mean, it's like, can you imagine Phoenix being able to unlock doors and everything?
I just say, I'm
She'll
out
be
of
out of
here.
there.
That reminds me, I probably need to put a chain on the door at the shelter.
So that brings me back. This is Pet Preparedness Month, I think, Ginger.
Yes, it is Pet
Yes.
Preparedness Month.
Yes, Pet
so
Preparedness
we've
Month.
talked about how to be prepared for the fireworks and maybe even thunderstorms, and to be prepared for dogs that can let themselves out of doors. But I think really what it's about is if we did have a disaster, this is kind of like Tornado Alley kind of thing.
Yes.
So you need to have kind of a emergency kit for yourself and your family members, but don't forget the four-legged family member. So you need to have some food, several days of food in Ziploc bags inside something else that you can move it in so it's not torn, it doesn't get wet.
Right.
You also need their medications, any type of toys that is going to comfort them, maybe some sleepy cheese. But for me, I always, because I don't know, Memphis is on a fault. I'm always afraid I'm going to have an earthquake or something. And,
yes.
and then I don't know, because if it's all falling in the earthquake, my dog to-go bag's going in down there
It's
too.
all
But
going. Yes.
I
But it's
usually
good.
have a couple of 2 to 4 weeks of any of their medication that I may not be able to get. And sometimes the electricity's out, shipments, go if there's any kind of disruption in the traffic flow of anything, you're not going to get your shipment. So just make sure that you're not on, oh, well, I only have 2 days left of, Phoenix's medication. You need to stock it and just let your vet know if it's a prescription medication, that what you're doing, that you have it, 2 or 3 days of medication, you want to have it on hand, or that month. I've even had.
That's so good. We don't think about that. None of us think about.
Well,
doing
I think
something like that.
about it because I had so many dogs on so many different types of medication.
Right.
And then just in case there's an accident or somebody gets sick, I have antibiotics, stomach meds. I have all the extra stuff that you do.
Right.
You have for your dogs, like a doggy first aid kit. Well, anybody can imagine what I do for a living.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And what I've done, for most of my life, I think, is I just make sure that I have everything for them. Now, for me, I'm going to have the clothes I have on my back and the shoes I have on, if I have on shoes, and that's going to be it.
But you look at the natural disasters that happen in the country
Right.
and really around the world, and it's chaotic for everyone, and especially,
Yeah. Well, and one thing I missed is water.
Okay.
In case something happens to the water supply, or you
Right.
can't,
For your
God
you,
forbid
your family,
that would
your
happen,
pet,
right?
right.
But your house you may not have water at your house. If you're hit by a tornado or whatever, just have the stuff in a safe place. Mm-hmm. And I would put it in a pretty tough container,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a cooler or something like that. If you have a small dog, for me, I have like a a tractor trailer rig for mine, but
Yeah. Yes. So, Chief Beecham, kind of wrapping back around to this weekend and the 4th, do you receive overall more calls during this time?
Just my fireworks calls,
Okay.
especially
The
after dark.
fireworks. Okay.
And it'll usually start about 9 o'clock and usually winds up anywhere after 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning.
And how long does it go on?
About 3 weeks.
I live in, yeah.
about 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks. Okay.
The week before, the week of, and the week after.
Okay.
And then everybody kind of gets it out of their system.
Yes.
So
That's how they would start in Memphis, and so I was not in a good mood for 3 weeks, and I appreciate the fireworks for the 4th of July, and I'm
Yes.
probably one of the most patriotic people that you will meet, but my dogs hated it, so it was just, I felt so horrible for my dogs.
Well, I would say, especially when you have multiples, sometimes if one
Yeah.
is scared, the others kind of pay attention and.
I think mine just looked at him and was like, "What's wrong with
Oh,
you?"
okay. Okay.
That's how mine did.
They do.
But Chief Beecham, you might be able to say something more towards this. But I think people who have been in wars also have a little PTSD from that when they hear all the fireworks. Is that true, or?
yes.
Okay.
You can kind of relive those moments because I've never been in the military service, and thank God I've never been to an actual war zone.
Right.
But I've worked around a bunch of guys who have been.
I wondered if you had.
And if you've ever been involved in an officer-involved shooting, yes, it will. I would say could definitely trigger
Okay.
some
Yes.
not so good thoughts.
Yes. So it's stressful for a lot of people, not only animals, but it is stressful for a lot of people too. Maybe young children who don't understand, or maybe someone who's gone through a really traumatic experience as well. That's something, to consider, and especially if you continue to do it after 11 p.m., right, Chief Beecham?
Oh yes, and like I say, a lot of the actual fireworks calls that it turns out to be fireworks will come in as gunfire.
I was just going to say, in Memphis, sometimes you couldn't tell.
It's hard to tell. From a
It's
distance,
real hard
especially.
to tell. Yeah.
Oh, they shoot guns?
No, they mistake the firecrackers for guns.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! In Memphis, they shoot the guns
Oh, they
too.
shoot the guns. But
I
they
could hear the
mistake-
difference.
Here, they mistake it and think that
and-
people
well, we
are
have-
shooting
we
guns.
We have had people in the middle of the street
Okay,
that had
shooting
a little
guns.
too much to drink, and they'll whip out the 38 and they want to fire off 5-6 rounds just to celebrate the 4th of July. And that's
Okay.
definitely will get you a ride, and it won't be to the pound.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
thank
because
you.
You know it's over capacity.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it's a jail, but you just got to scoot them over.
Oh, the jail is as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. So, it is a very interesting time for the next 3 weeks, I guess, or 2
Yeah.
weeks.
3.
3
3. Okay, 3 weeks.
the week before,
The week before,
and the week after.
and the week
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. It's going to be interesting. And fireworks, it seems like they've gotten bigger, and I want to say better if you like fireworks. I mean, there's some really high-powered stuff out there right now, right?
Um,
Or I'm talking about when I grew up. You'd think I'm in the dark ages with my sparklers.
I was going to say, I had sparklers and
Yeah, the Roman
you
candles.
can't buy the old M80s like you used to. Or the
Yes.
ash cans. Oh yeah, they'd rattle your chimes.
Yes.
Now, if you
And I
see a
do
bigger
remember
and
that.
better fireworks display, seriously, the city's going all out this year. They
Yes, that's
almost
great.
double the size of the fireworks.
wow.
So, and I think it's supposed to be 30 minutes long, maybe this
Wow.
year.
Okay.
So, Mr. McKinley does a really good job.
And where do they do it? Did you say up around the high school?
We'll,
that-
because you can use the high school bleachers. That's
Oh,
where
okay,
We sit,
okay.
and we're actually just east of it, off of John Pillar Road.
Okay.
Actually, that'll be closed to through traffic because of the
Okay.
explosives. So, yeah,
That's
come.
that's wild. And music as well. Is it to music, or do you know?
I'm too busy putting
It
up
is?
fireworks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
We'll broadcast the music live on the radio.
Oh, good. Okay.
And it goes synced with the fireworks show.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's Dick's hobby. McKinley,
Yes.
McKinley's hobby.
Yes.
So he loves it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit about the city administrator and how he's involved in fireworks? That's one of his passions.
I'll probably get myself in trouble.
No, I think he's proud of it.
He is. He don't take this wrong. He loves to blow stuff up. That's his release back.
Oh,
he
okay.
is a licensed fire.
So he.
Yes, he is a license.
He
Yes.
is licensed,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
So actually, we'll do. He'll have to keep me straight on this. We're doing Lawrenceburg's the 28th. I think July the 5th. He's doing Mount Pleasant, and then the 4th of July, Hugh Inglet will be doing Columbia's.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 really big shows.
Okay.
And don't carry your dog with you.
Yeah.
To the fire. That's
Oh, yeah, no, do not take your
Not a good
dogs to
idea.
the fireworks.
No, it's not, and especially if
seen
you
people do
live
that.
around there.
Yes, and you will
Oh,
horrify
yes.
the dogs.
Yes.
I think it would be, terrifying. I want to get back to the ordinances because there are ordinances regarding the care of dogs in the city of Lawrenceburg. Do you want to discuss some of those?
Well, you got city ordinance and you got state statutes.
Okay.
The biggest thing we will have violated inside the corporate city limits is letting your dogs run at large. The requirement is if you're going to have them outside, now I spend a lot of money putting a 5-foot chain link fence in my backyard, but I don't have to worry about my dogs getting out. Of course, living right off of a First Street, and
Right,
it's busy.
right.
It's a cut
Yes.
through from Locust over to Springer Road,
Yes.
back and forth. So there's a lot of vehicular traffic, and I've lost one dog because she got out the front door, rocketed right straight across the street, right in front of a car.
Yes.
So letting your dogs run at large, and if they go outside, they need to be on a leash. That way you've got them under control. What people really don't think about, if you've got a dog that's prone to biting, you've got the civil liability of it to worry about too.
Right.
So if it bites somebody, you just bought the farm.
Right.
You can be sued for that.
You can be sued. Yes.
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 So we're going to write you, we could write you a citation for allowing the dog to run at large. You could, if it gets to be a repeated offense, you could lose the dog.
Okay.
So
We have some repeat offenders.
Look at how that is.
What is that? You did not. You were not running at large, sweetheart.
I know she's like,
No, ma'am.
Is
You
that
weren't.
not
You just
the
couldn't.
cutest
You
thing?
couldn't take it any longer.
you are just
Okay.
adorable.
Okay.
And those little hands that are up there.
I know,
Yes.
I know.
She's like, yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about walking dogs, and I've got a leash.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Go for a walk.
She's ready to go for a walk.
I'll get a call from one of the officers, and they'll say, "Well, I just picked up this, blockhead, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, yeah, his name's Bullet, or his name's Bear," and they're like, "Okay, so let me just call their mom, have them bring them here, have them come get them, and Bear actually somewhere around the first of the year or somewhere he finally, I think, is staying in his own yard, or he went to live with grandma, one or the other.
And there are other, in addition to a chain link fence, which I know is, quite expensive. Any fence is, but now they are making these GPS on your collars, which are less expensive. I mean, the one that I have for my dog is, back in. It was pretty expensive, but now they're cheaper because they're GPS controlled. It seems like the prices are coming down, and that's good news for all of us who are searching for other options that are more affordable.
And don't they, on some of the collars, you can set the perimeter, right? Is that what you're
Yes,
talking about? 'Cause
yes,
you can
you
say,
can.
I know people who live, out in the country, and they say, well, no, I've got one of those collars, and I can keep my dog within 2 or 3 acres of the house, or
Yes.
I have 40 acres and
Yes.
I have it set on 30 so they don't get too far into the woods or something. I'm
And
like,
they've got
"Okay."
it to where it is so mobile that you can take it with you if you go on vacation. I mean, it's just really interesting. And I feel like with technology, the price will continue to come down. But of course, there's absolutely no cost to just leash, collar, and walking, which
Right.
we all need to do, myself included.
Exactly. And we have a nice trail out at the shelter. That's a
Yes.
quarter of a mile around. And so I'm going to tell you what, we had some dog walkers out there today in the heat. This one lady walked, her name is Linda. She walked, I don't know how many dogs, but she walked for 4.5
So
hours.
she was a volunteer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she walked every dog at least once around that quarter of a mile. So I don't know how many steps she did today, but hooray, she passed me on the steps.
That is wonderful. And Ginger, why don't you talk about how many volunteers have started coming out to the shelter now? It's quite incredible.
I'm telling you, it has been amazing. So we have probably 5 or 6 now volunteers coming in and out. Like today, we had 3 volunteers that came today. Yesterday, we had 4 volunteers. Yes, ma'am, they did walk you too.
They did.
They
You
did.
were one
You
of
know-
the first, Phoenix. I
Yes,
know.
ma'am. Well, I told them you walked yourself, but that you would appreciate some company, okay? And then last Friday night, we have Black Dog Friday.
Yes.
So on Fridays, the black dogs are free for adoption because we have so many of them. And, there's most of them are just so sweet.
Oh, they're wonderful. Norman. I mean, they're just
Yep.
great. dogs.
Cleo, I could name like a dozen
Oh,
black
yes,
dogs.
absolutely.
Sapphire.
Sapphire.
So
Great
on
dogs.
Friday night, so because we're there until 7 o'clock until the time changes, people have started coming to walk the dogs. And last Friday night, we had 7 volunteers coming to walk dogs. And we had 1 adoption earlier in the day, so we didn't adopt any black dogs. But
That's wonderful.
it was the day before we got Willem.
So, what types
adopted.
of things normally when they volunteer at the shelter? They walk dogs. They can. Now we have a commercial dishwasher.
They
So,
can, I've been I don't let that job go. Okay.
yeah, you kind of like that.
You're
kinda
I
into
started
that
out.
commercial.
know-
She's into the commercial dishwasher.
When I was 15.
And thanks to the community who
Yes.
everybody pitched in to raise money for that. That was incredible.
I started my working career, I guess, as a dishwasher at Holiday Inn in Hope, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
And we won't say how many years later, but a good many years later, I have gone back to being a dishwasher. But I do enjoy it. But anyway, it's getting hot now. But volunteers can wash dishes, they can walk dogs, they can bathe dogs. We have some. We got in 11 puppies on a hoarding case that are probably 8 to 10 weeks old, and they need to be bathed quite frequently.
Yes.
Because they're, I call them poopy puppies for a reason.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they can help bathe the dogs. They can help do some administrative stuff. There's some filing that needs to be done. I need some folders made so that I can file the things that need to be folded.
So there's so many things depending on what you're capable of.
Exactly.
And what you want to do, where your interests are. And that's great. So if anybody out there is interested, Tracy Pravarsi is heading the volunteer program. You can email Folca, FOLCATN @gmail.com. And some people have just been coming out to the shelter, correct?
Yes, some people just, like yesterday morning, somebody showed up and wanted to volunteer. And I said, have you filled out an application? No, she filled out the application. And I said, well, when do you want to start? She goes, now would be good. I'm like, okay.
Okay, here we go. So I think that's great. That's wonderful. Charlotte gave me a couple of questions to ask you, Chief Beecham.
Yes, ma'am.
And we kind of talked about this with Director Chad Moore last week. When should you and should not call the police involving dogs?
If you've got a vicious dog, that can step up to a 911 call.
Okay.
If you've got a dog that you feel like somebody just dropped off on your front porch, 762-0450.
Okay.
That's a central dispatch. That's good for county or city calls. And they'll dispatch the appropriate law enforcement agency to wherever this dog may be that got dumped on you. And I get just kind of that's a good segue for me as a pet owner. One of the cruelest things you can do to an animal is drive it out in the country and dump it off at the Amish.
Yes.
Or just dump it off at, that looks like a pretty friendly house. We'll just dump them out there.
Right.
That's, to me, is one of the cruelest things anybody can do. And if you're so that done with your animal, if you can't go on Facebook and advertise it, if you can't afford it anymore, there's agencies out there through the shelter and through Folca that will help you try to provide food for the dog. But if you're at your wit's end with it, do the humane thing, carry the dog to the vet and have it put to sleep. Don't abandon it, go with it and watch the dog go peacefully to sleep.
Exactly.
That's the most humane thing you can do.
That
Just
is,
dump it out there in the middle of the street. No,
that's a very good point. A lot of towns, and even in the larger cities, but in towns too, because our shelters are at overcapacity, there's really going to be an effort, and Folca is going to do this as well in our plans, is to try, with Ginger's guidance, to keep the pets in place in the home. So if someone is having trouble, and we can't do this right now because we are a young organization, we've helped raise money for the building, for play yards, for dishwasher,
Dishwashers.
washer and dryer. So we've got to get those necessary things and help finish out the campus. But one of the things that we really want is to start an initiative to keep dogs in place. So, I mean, dog food can be expensive. So, you know, if we find that out, then perhaps there can be some support in that area. Of course, we offer spay-neuter services through our program, the Lawrence County SNPs program, that has been funded by the Lawrence County Commission. We're so thankful, $25,000. We've asked for more this year. We'll wait and see if we get it. But we're excited about it because we work with our local vet partner, and we also hold clinics and help provide financial assistance to people who need it regarding spaying and neutering their pet. So anything that we can possibly do to try to keep them in place. And in some areas, they have even hired someone at the shelter, and that's all they do is work on initiatives. Of course, we're going to do it hopefully through volunteer efforts in the community. But Ginger, you want to speak a little more about that?
I actually wanted to go back to something that Chief Beecham said a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Where the vicious dog, that's could escalate to a 911 call. If the vicious dog is yours, you need to make a decision, because the dog is a liability if it has bitten somebody, but you can't just drop it off someplace. And the shelter also, it would be really difficult for us to be able to adopt the dog out.
Correct.
Because it's come to us as vicious, and then that's going to be a liability to the county and the city, as I see it. And so we really couldn't take that dog in. So again, you need to. It's the hard part of being an adult, is to making those kind of decisions as to when you need to let your dog go. But it might be best for you and the dog in the long run for you to take the dog to the vet and have it and stay with it while it's humanely euthanized.
Yes.
We were talking about when should you call dispatch and when not to call, but I think in Charlotte has given me this question. It's so appropriate right now too, with the extreme heat. If you see dogs in distress or animals in distress because of the extreme heat, they're in a car perhaps and it's sealed, it's an oven.
If we can't get in the car, the fire department can.
Okay.
So yes, it's common sense.
Yes.
Temperatures don't take but about 5 minutes to reach temperatures of upward 125 degrees.
Yes.
Makes me want to put them in the car and shut the door.
Okay.
Experience this yourself for a little while.
Would anything happen to me if I did that to somebody?
Oh no, we don't.
Maybe I'm not. Oh, I didn't say that out loud, did I? I didn't say that out
If
loud.
you do it to a dog, it can be classified as cruelty to animals, and that's a felony in the state of Tennessee.
So
stand by.
So, Charlotte also mentioned, was there somebody, I know you don't talk about specific cases perhaps, but maybe arrested because of a dog on a balcony recently, or?
It was in Nashville.
Oh, it was in Nashville. Okay. I was like,
It just happened in Nashville.
oh, it just happened in Nashville.
I don't know if y'all are aware.
No, we are not aware of it. So a dog was
On a balcony in Nashville died, and there's 2 people that had just been arrested.
Oh,
It's on local news. in
oh,
Nashville.
okay.
And so I didn't
Because that is neglect,
It's
or
neglect,
yes.
so
Mhm.
just wanted to know what kind of, what constitutes as neglect of an animal. And you don't need to call the police on every case. Every animal's not being neglected. But you see a dog chained to a tree.
In the
Without
heat,
shelter
yeah.
or under the shade.
We
Would
did
you
that
do
time.
your child that way?
That's exactly
Well, this was somebody's child. I mean, like I said, I've got 6 dogs. I'm not just a huge fan of animals, because my little dog Frisky got run over when I was a kid. I just never got attached to another dog. I was literally raised with that dog. And it still stings to think about it. So, and I've raised 3 kids. I cannot imagine putting a collar around my son's neck and chaining him to the tree in the backyard.
Right.
That's cruel. And a tarp spread over a picnic table is not adequate shelter.
In fact, we shared. Now, there is, and I know that they have changed the laws in the state of Tennessee regarding shelter. We shared it on Focus Facebook page
what is
just
the law?
just recently. So we've shared that, which is great, and we'll share it again so that people can be aware of it. But they need shelter so that they are able to turn around. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. They need to provide shade, so you cannot put a doghouse out in the middle of a field somewhere without shade in the sun. So it has to have shade. water, food.
And this time of the year when it's so hot outside, the dogs will drink a lot more water than they normally do. So you need to check the water a couple of times a day. I mean, even the dogs in the shelter, we check their water buckets all the time, because if they've gone outside for a walk, they're going to empty that bucket when they get back. Right now.
So we have less than a minute. We want to again thank our sponsors, of course, Tiffany Cope with Crown Like Realtors, Lawrenceburg Eye Care, Hearing Services of Middle Tennessee, and Story and Leigh, WLX. If you go into their businesses, please thank them as well. They support us so much and make the community a better place for our families, our friends, and our animals. So, Chief Beecham, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope
Pleasure
you
to be
enjoyed
here.
it. We've certainly enjoyed having you here. And we look forward to seeing everyone again next week for the Lawrence County Animal Hour.
And adopt Phoenix.
And adopt Phoenix, please. Thank you.